Hello friends, this is Worm, and we are back with another episode of the Destiny 2 Perk Forge. This is a series where we take a look at weak, underused, or straight up bad perks inside Destiny 2, and talk about how we can potentially make them better. And today we have Invisible Hand on the menu. Now, Invisible Hand in-game reads as follows. Repeatedly missing targets increases this weapon's stability for a short time. This buff lasts for a short duration after a target is hit. Now, according to LightGG, the buff is a 25 stability for 2.5 seconds upon crossing that multiple miss thresholds. The multiple miss threshold for auto rifles and submachine gun is 10 bullets missed. For pulse rifles, it's 9 bullets missed. For hand cannons, it's 4 shots missed. And for linear fusion rifles, it is 2 shots missed. The buff is then removed 1 second after scoring a hit, but missing again will refresh the buff duration. This perk lends itself to a new player. This is a perk that a person who doesn't have a lot of skill or knowledge in Destiny, who's constantly missing shots, could potentially use to increase their ability to actually hit targets, to increase their stability, to make it feel better. Unfortunately, I think that it's safe to say that most players, including brand new players, aren't missing 10 SMG shots or 3 pulse rifle bursts technically, 4 hand cannon shots, or 2 linear fusion rifle shots. This weapon's threshold to actually activate is just way too high. It's almost too difficult to even achieve realistically. So with that being said, I want to fully rework the way Invisible Hand functions. For starters, let's remove the stability buff and give it a target acquisition and a cone angle multiplier. I think that the stability is nice, but it really isn't required to hit your shots. If somebody's missing 10 auto rifle shots, it's not so much a stability thing as it is the ability to hit the target they're actually shooting at. And I think adding the target acquisition buff as well as the accuracy cone angle buff would tremendously help to improve this perk for these newer players that are coming into Destiny 2, or the players that are struggling in the Crucible to hit their targets. Now, the numbers for the target acquisition and the accuracy cone angle, I would say for target acquisition, probably give it plus 50 to its target acquisition. Yes, that would technically put most weapons over 100 target acquisition, but I think it would be fine in this case. Also, for the cone accuracy, I would say leave that number up to Bungie, because I don't know how exactly the multipliers to your accuracy cone angle will influence the weapon. I don't think that it should necessarily be crazy strong, like it's a guaranteed free hit, but at the same time, I do think that it does need that to help players hit that first shot. Once a player hits that first shot, the effects of this buff are immediately reduced by 50% for each subsequent shot. Now, the next thing that needs to happen, in my opinion, is to reduce the miss shot requirements by half. So for auto rifles and submachine guns, it goes from missing 10 bullets to now just missing 5 bullets. For pulse rifles, it can go from missing 9 bullets or 3 bursts down to maybe probably missing 2 bursts or 1 burst, depending on the fire rate of the pulse rifle. For hand cannons, it goes from missing 4 shots down to missing 2 shots. And for linear fusion rifles, it goes from missing 2 shots down to missing 1 shot. This would help players activate these buffs much faster and get more use out of them. Now, one last thing I would say we should change about Invisible Hand is the actual activation requirements. I think that auto rifles, submachine guns, pulse rifles, hand cannons, linear fusion rifles should be constantly firing in order to get this buff. This way, players of high skill can't take advantage of it by shooting 2 hand cannon shots, then stepping out into the battlefield with that 2.5 second buff going on and getting free shots. It should require constant fire. This way, somebody has to shoot 2 shots, and on their 3rd shot at max fire rate with a hand cannon, of course, that's when the buff would kick in. These changes aren't meant to make Invisible Hand a crazy good perk that everybody wants to run. It's not meant to make it a meta perk, but it is meant to give it more utility, especially for those players who might be new to Destiny 2 or who are struggling with their aim. Veteran players would not be inclined to use this perk because, again, it requires missing shots consistently. And really, as a veteran player, like, you could get a kill faster by just hitting 3 shots instead of missing 2, then having the perk activate for the 3rd shot, and so on and so forth. So to recap the perk one more time, during constant fire, consecutively missing multiple times grants plus 50 target acquisition and plus X accuracy cone angle modifier to the next shot. And again, I put that X in there so that Bungie could kind of tweak that number on their own. The buff is reduced by 50% after hitting each consecutive shot, and missing will refresh the buff's duration. Also, the missed shots in a row requirement for auto rifles and submachine guns is down to 5. For pulse rifles, it's down to 3 or 6, depending on archetype of pulse rifle. For hand cannons, it's dropped from 4 to 2. And of course, for linear fusion rifles, it's dropped down to 1. I think doing those changes would help Invisible Hand. Again, it would be a viable perk, but it wouldn't become a meta perk. But tell me your thoughts on Invisible Hand. Did you forget about it like I did? Just tell me all that stuff in the comments. Of course, if you liked today's video, do me a favor. Drop a like, it helps the channel a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversations, debates, discussions, all that good stuff. And do me one more favor. Watch the videos you see on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. Guys, I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.